Hi guys, welcome to Emsley Lodge for another week. As Jamie alluded to last week, it was only going to be a quiet week on the racetrack, and that it certainly was. But we'll crank it up this week, and we'll get into a couple of runners. We'll take two runners to Geelong on Friday. First being Diamond Luke. He's in great form at the moment, that horse. He won a couple of starts ago, and then his last couple of runs have been really gallant thirds. He in pretty good grade, so he's doing the job. We'll go to Geelong. We'll go up to the 2400. So I think he's raced okay at the 2400. I don't know if he's improved going to the 2400, but he's won a couple of placings at Geelong over 2400 previously in his last few preps. But I think he's probably arguably going as good as he ever. So I certainly think he'll be around the mark again. Jack Hill sticks. We'll just swap the blinkers over the visors. Jack just sort of thought last start that just to be able to find that extra half a length, if he was able to hit the front, then he might be able to fight him off. So if he hits the front and he can stay him off, then it should be a good day at Geelong. This bloke Reddivo will kick off his campaign at Geelong on Friday. Also 1700 metres, 64. So that's the toughest grade he's at the race in. But his last win, which was his last run of his last prep, he won in emphatic fashion at Geelong, 2400 metres. So that's the trip that we certainly want to get him to. If not further, I'm sure that he'll run it. He's come back in really good fashion. He's had a fresh haircut and he looks great. And his trial, I thought the other day for a 2400 metre horse was actually pretty good. And even just on the training track, he's probably that little bit quicker. He's got that little bit more turn of foot. So I certainly think that horses that can race over a staying trip and then have that bit of a turn of foot at the end of the races, it can be a really effective play for stayers. So. Really like him. He's grown, he's matured, and he's been a long sort of horse in progress, just sort of the amount of time he's taken. But I think he's in for a really good prep, and I think at Geelong on Friday he'll run a bit of a cheeky race. On Sunday at Bendigo, we'll take Champagne Sabre up for his second start. Never thought we'd be getting two runs into this horse as a 2-year-old. He's just one of those horses that just continue to surprise and continue to impress. He gallops up great. He tries. He comes home. He eats up, and he just continues to train on. So we'll take him. We'll step him. The other day was 1200 at Geelong, and I thought the last little bit of his race was really strong and through the line. You probably couldn't see him past the line. He was actually Jack actually struggled to pull him up. So we'll go to a mile at Bendigo, which will really suit, I think. Nice big track. He'll get every chance. Zach Spain jumps on board. I think there's a couple in it that with the exposed form that go okay. But as with 2-year-olds, one day they can be perfect and the next day they'd be off the ball. But at the moment, this guy's on the ball, and really keen to take him to races at Bendigo on Sunday. G'day guys, I thought we'd just pop out in the paddocks today and come and have a look at a couple of our weanlings. We went to the weaning sales the other week, and they're all sort of prepped up and fed up and things like that, and I was pretty happy to sort of come back to our little sort of paddock weanlings that I think they'd certainly hold their own there. Certainly by stallions that they haven't paid big service fees for. I think ours was certainly with size and maturity and all their legs and things like that. I certainly think that they held their own. So here with me is a Fox Wedge Stud for Life. I don't know if you follow, but free of debt. This mare was actually a half to free of debt, so that's pretty good pedigree. He ran third in the Blue Diamond. Here, Little Chestnut. She's a really strong sort of type. She out of midnight charge, charge board mare. So it's once again thrown a really nice weanling. Here with me is Jack, we call him. He's a Fox Wedge Beyond Pretty. So he's Valmia's half brother. He's a nice strong colt. Really like him. Got a lot of time for him. So he's a beauty. And over here is a Strasbourg colt. He's a little muscly sort of type. He looks like a little runner, so he's a little bit sort of behind on them on size, but he's got plenty of muscle about him, and he gets around the paddock nice and sharp. So there's just a couple of our weanlings that we've got here on the farm, yeah, really wrapped with how their progress is and their as they run off. That's beautiful, right on cue. Yeah, they're all growing up and maturing, and yeah, really happy with their progress. That's it for another week at Emsley Lodge. Thanks for watching. Pretty short, sharp video this week, but I think the runners we take to the races will be pretty competitive, both on Friday and the young 2-year-old as I'm getting eaten alive here. The young 2-year-old on Sunday, yeah, really keen to take him to the races. We've got a few runners nommed on Wednesday at Mornington. Just check the form guide to see whether they run, but they'll be competitive if we accept there. What else is happening? No, winter's certainly struck here at the farm. Yeah, it's big jackets and traggy pants. If I'm in traggy pants, that means it's usually pretty cold here. No, all's going well. Got a few sort of 2-year-olds punching through the system, so it's always good to see the young horses coming through the system and which ones stand out and things like that. But until next week, see you later. G'day guys, I thought we'd come out to the paddocks and yeah, just sort of have a look around the foals as one kicks the bucket over. Thought we'd just pop out to the paddocks and come out and have a look at a couple of our weanlings here. Oh, for fuck's sake, horses.
I'll probably just stand with you.
Yeah, right. I'll stand with you.